Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. Welcome to the Merrimack Parks and Recreations Committee meeting. My name is Tracy McGraw. I'm the chairperson
My name is Rick Grenier. I'm the MYA representative
and vice chair.
and vice chair. Thank you.
Phil Parzewski, member.
Maureen Hall, Senior Representative.
Lauren Janes, member.
Matthew Brown, student representative.
Lori Rothaus, school board representative.
And I'm Mackenzie Murphy. I'm the town council representative.
Hi, Heather Fairbanks, committee member.
And Matt Kasparis, Director of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you all very much. All right. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from last month?
Yes, I do.
Mackenzie, do we have any changes we need to make? I'm just going straight to the source.
I was just about to say I haven't had a chance to review them yet, so I don't think so, though.
I believe Lori can check me on this, but I don't know. It says Naomi Holter as school board rep. Was she here last month, or
No.
was that was?
This is, excuse, yeah, so maybe she's just the alternate, so she's not supposed to be here, I don't know.
She must have just kept it from
So,
previously and never taken the name off the list.
oh, here we go.
Same with Jonathan Barkley, actually. He's
Yeah.
the alternate.
Okay. So we usually don't put the alternates on there unless the actual person doesn't show up.
Right,
So we're gonna fix that.
okay.
All right, so what I've done on this is, for the minutes, I've crossed out the word alternate next to Lori's name. And also crossing out under excused MYA Vice Chair Jonathan Barkley, since Rick was here.
I was excused, actually, coincidentally.
Okay, well, he wasn't here either.
Correct.
You're both excused. And also Naomi Halter on here.
Right.
Okay, so I've crossed that off. Any other changes?
Good catch, Matthew.
Yeah, nicely done. Mackenzie?
No.
Just checking. All right. So with those changes, do we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes? Okay.
Second?
All right. And all in favor?
Aye.
Hands up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
You didn't count me, did you?
Did I? Okay, so fine. 8. Did I get it right? Sorry, guys. Having a rough time counting today. All right. Let's see. We're going to go straight into some new business from Matt.
All right. All right, so we'll start with our, back in September, we had opened up our Park and Rec logo design contest to the community. We had accepted submissions up through November 1st, and then, as you know, obviously, we asked all of you to vote on our entries. It was all of you as judges, and as well as the Park and Rec staff, the full-time staff. We had a total of 9 entries, which, as I said, were judged by all of you. Of those 9, there was 4 that you guys all focused on, or that everybody, I should say, all the judges focused on. And it was actually a fairly close split between the 4 options. But again, we had asked for people to create a logo that they think represents Parks and Rec. But it was a nearly even split. And in the end, our winning entry was created by Jesse Cross, who will be receiving a $50 Amazon gift card, a Park and Rec, $25 Park and Rec gift certificate, and then a T-shirt with her logo on it. And then tomorrow when I get into the office, we'll start rolling it out onto the website and social media and all that other stuff. I do have a couple of live samples with us today. One of the things we had asked Jesse to do for us was I was worried about the town of Merrimack and brown and how that might show up on particularly like a dark blue shirt or a black, or what does that look like? So I asked her to kind of give me 2 options And so we basically have a white, and then the one on the right is actually like a navy blue. And so that I have the flexibility with white shirt, light colored shirts, whites and grays, versus a blue or a black or a green. So a couple of months ago, we actually bought a heat press in the office. They were actually really reasonable. And we can print our own shirts and things now. And so I brought a couple of things that I printed out this morning that I'll hold up really quickly and I can kind of pass around. But here is, dark logo on a gray shirt. Here is a
I see that
with the
pops
white
right
logo
out.
on green.
That looks great.
And then we actually, this is a picnic blanket, which we're toying with the idea of maybe this summer we'll sell them at the concerts. Maybe. We'll see. So those are just a couple of things. The heat press items takes me about 15 seconds per item to print it, and it's done. So it was really kind of fast and easy, and we're looking at kind of, what's that? Absolutely. We're looking at staff incentives, we might do staff shirts with this stuff. You think about if I have a print shop print me, 20 shirts, it might be $7, $8, $10 a shirt, depending on the designs and all that. I can do these, I literally, like those I bought at Hobby Lobby last night for $3 a shirt. And then it's screening the logo on, which I buy them in big sheets and, so it's a fraction of the price and doesn't take a whole lot of time to do it. So we thought that was really cool. We're happy with the logo with, obviously, those at home might have difficulty seeing some of the design a little bit, but obviously in the first part of the M, we've got playground, swings, slides, skateboard park, tennis, pickleball. The blue section has kind of water sports. The green section has kind of biking and hiking trails and things. And then the fourth section is kind of like community, parks and music and concerts and those kinds of things. So we're happy. We love how it came out and happy it worked out and had some good choices to choose from. So thank you to Jessie. And her award was sent out in the mail to her today. So, and I think that's it. That's it for that, for this
Can I
second.
just ask a quick question?
Yes.
Is this young lady from Merrimack?
Yes.
Just curious.
I don't remember the address, but yes.
Congratulations, Jessie.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well, we
to
probably
Jessie
don't
Cross.
want to tell her address,
No, we probably don't.
Yeah. That's okay, Jessie. We got you covered. All right. So now gets into the fun part.
Now we get to move to the fun part.
Okay. You're on, Matt.
I know.
We're talking about the budget.
Over here. All right.
Mine's not
Let
working.
us. Before I start tonight on this, I had originally listed on the agenda that the Park and Rec Committee presentation to the council was going to be January 16th. I've since learned that that date has been changed to the 22nd, so the following Wednesday. So we'll have another meeting, obviously, in January before we present. And obviously, we'll have more information if anything changes between now and then. I officially have to turn the budget into the finance department by next Tuesday. And then at some point in December, I meet with the town manager and he decides what he's going to recommend to the council, which will start in December going into January. And then, like I said, on January 22nd, we will make that pitch. So for those who are new to the committee or anybody watching from home, so the Park and Rec budget falls into kind of three categories. The first is our capital improvement projects, which we kind of talked about back in September. We have our taxpayer-funded budget, which is largely things that we don't necessarily have a whole lot of control of. Utilities, water, heat, electricity, gas, health insurance, park maintenance, those types of things, although it does fund some of our big community events, Halloween, the holiday parade, Winter Carnival, the Easter egg hunt, summer concerts, and of course, 4th of July. For the most part, I'm only expecting minor changes, and I'm certainly not going to go through line by line, but I will talk about just a couple of things. We were given basic instructions this year to essentially look at level funding the budget as much as possible. And so, with that in mind, I'm going to highlight just a couple of things. First on that first page is under wages part-time, that 8107 line item. You will see maintainer 1. This is our part-time year-round maintenance person. A year ago, we originally had this funded at 25 hours a week. We couldn't find anybody. We went 6 months without finding anybody. And so we ended up dropping it in last year's budget to save money because of the budget, down to 15 hours. And then subsequently last winter, we found somebody who liked some more hours. And as you know, we have plenty of work to do at Wasserman Park. I've had conversations with the town manager about, what we really need is full-time. There is that amount of work to do. Town manager's open to the idea of it, and was open to the idea of sharing costs. Taxpayers pay some of it, but I would have to come up with the other half, and the other half is about $40,000 or $45,000, and unfortunately at this point that's not something I can cover in program revenues. Another $45,000 on top of, if you remember, our camp and after school coordinator. Her salary and benefits are already all paid out of our programs, and then part of my salary, part of James's salary, and then administrative time of other town departments, HR and payroll and things, also get charged off to our program. So at this point, we're not comfortable trying to come up with another $30,000, $40,000. A lot of that would fall to camp, and I don't want to raise camp another $30 or $40 just to do that. I don't think we're there yet. So maybe another year, maybe two, we'll see. But I'm hoping to get at least back to 25 where we originally were, and we'll see what happens from there. Moving down to page 4 on your budgets, the under maintenance of buildings and grounds. We only have a minor thing here, which is I'm looking to add one of the when we do like concerts in the park, or other events here in the summer at Abbey Griffin, when they need bathrooms, they have to come up to Town Hall, which we unlock Town Hall for them so they can do that. But that's a walk up that hill for some people. It can be a challenge, and so we've got just a minor increase in here to add porta potties down at Abbey Griffin for the summer. I'm not anticipating any real pushback on that. In the next category down is under maintenance of grounds. There's a new line item called ATV park grading, contractual. This is for $1,000. This is the Simeone ATV park off of Lawrence Road. The park itself is managed by New Hampshire Right Riders, which is a volunteer group. But it requires kind of periodic grading, once or twice a year of to grade out the park track. And unfortunately, DPW doesn't own the equipment to do that, so they have to hire somebody else out to do that. They had come to us at the end of last fiscal year and had asked for some help. The town manager was able to find some funding in June to help them for this past year, but we're looking to put in a kind of an annual line item here so that we have it going forward for them on that. Then moving down to page 5, 4th of July. One of the things, we've added $2,050 to 4th of July items this year. I think I've explained to you before, but last year this past winter, when we reached, usually in January, we reach out to the fireworks company and say, okay, we're on for the 4th. We're looking to spend, $20,000 on fireworks. Send us the contract. And this year they said, we're not sure we're going to have enough shooters for you to be able to give you a July 4th date. Town town manager got involved, we ended up signing a 5-year agreement with the fireworks company to guarantee that we would always have our, excuse me, our, hold on, would always have our fireworks on the 4th, released for the next 5 years. But the 5-year contract has an escalation clause in it so last year it was $20,000, this year it's $22,050, and so forth. The line item is $42,050, and that, the reason for that is the rest of that is what we pay the bands to come in, because we have to pay those marching bands to show up. So again, not a huge jump in things, but just want to give you kind of up to date of kind of where we're at. And then lastly, down to page 6, at the bottom is our infrastructure line item, 0113-8505. This is our basically 3 capital projects that we've requested that we talked about back in September. Totaling $292,500. The first one is to replace the Park and Rec pickup truck. If you remember, this was in last year's budget. The town wasn't able to fund it last year, and as we expected, when it came up for inspection in September, it failed. It was a 10-year-old truck, but the whole frame had rotted out, and but unfortunately, it is something that we use active a lot during spring, summer, and fall, and then actually it's used by Public Works during the winter months, and so we're kind of both scrambling right now for the winter. So, so we'll get our truck back this year. The second one is the skateboard park. We were told a year ago by the superintendent that we had until 2025 to move the skateboard park. Now, this committee had made those recommendations to the council several years ago, and it kind of keeps getting kicked down the road, that, we need to make a decision here. And now since then, we've heard that the new proposed SAU is not going to that site. So I don't know if the district's going to let us. I don't know that any formal conversation is.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry right now.
Yeah.
There's enough going on.
Well, here's the dilemma, is the council needs to have kind of a formal discussion with the school board to say yes, we can stay there forever, or if it's just another couple of years or whatever. The challenge is the existing park is kind of nearing the end of its lifespan. It's a wooden substructure. We throw a lot of money at it to kind of maintain those panels that buckle and crack. But realistically, we need to replace it with modern materials. The estimate is $137,500 to do that. So I've asked for it again for this year in hopes that if we can keep it where it is, great. And here's money to replace the existing structure. If we have to move it, then, again, either way, we have the money to hopefully get this project done. Because it does need to be replaced.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Have we actually either approached town council or school board or both to say, just give us an answer instead of, so that we can make this decision? Because not only does this stuff have to be replaced, but there's a safety issue involved here. Kids are still using it.
Yeah.
So on the original plan for the school board, they were going to use that piece of property. They were thinking of putting the new, if it gets passed someday, SAU building. After the old Brentwood building got torn down, it's a better site. It's just makes more sense. Plus, we want kids close to the police department. I mean, it makes sense that the skate park is right there. The police can swing in and
Another
check
element
on
of
it
safety.
versus in an isolated place. So that's been our discussion. Has there
Okay.
there been a formal vote of any sort? No, just discussions, and that was a while ago.
Last
but,
6 months or so, probably.
Yeah.
And so the council, and one of the things I'll talk about when I present to them in January is, the council needs to approach the school board and have that formal discussion to say, yes, no, whatever. So we'll see. But either way, the money's in there, hopefully that we can replace the park that needs to be replaced. There's no immediate safety hazards in there that I'm aware of, but it's showing its age, and it's, we keep replacing little things, so, we'll see.
I can, my grandsons go there all the time and they really enjoy it. And so, it gives them a great outlet and it's really, it's a nice place. I mean, there's not any crime going on or
Yeah.
if kids are, so I think it's a real positive thing for Merrimack.
Absolutely. So, and then the final project is phase 4 of the beach renovation. As you remember, 2 years ago, we had done kind of the right hand, you're facing the water, the right-hand side of the beach. We had done the perched beach. We had dredged the lake and cleaned out all the silt and everything. Huge, amazing feedback from the public. They love it. This is the left side of those 3 pine trees that are in the middle of the beach, which has kind of the same issues with the steep slope and the tree roots that are sticking out of the ground. And so this is essentially doing what we did on the right side of the beach on the left, but then we're going to add the component of we're going to build in ADA access to the water from that left-hand side directly down. When we did the right-hand side, what's there now wasn't what was originally planned, but then when we had gone to the state and gotten all our permits, they made us change some things, and so we kind of lost the ADA access piece that we had originally planned for on that other side. So we're trying to make it up and fix it on the other way. Originally, our 5-year permit with the state expired last year. We were able to get a 1-year extension on it, but that's this coming year. So hopefully that does get funded this year so that we can solve that issue. And so that is,
So Matt, if it doesn't get done this year, then you'll have to reapply for the.
and then we'll have to start the process over with the permits with the state, which is several $1,000s and months of paperwork, mostly by DPW engineering, to start that process over. So we're hoping not to do that. The last thing I'll just mention is that, obviously last year, MYA kind of tried to force the town's hand with the ballot for Greenfield Farms for the fields. And ultimately, unfortunately, it did fail at the ballot. Looking at the town CIP, the town manager has tentatively slated it in for a year from now. Well, next year's, submitting into next year's budget. So we're another year away at this point. Well, whether that gets changed or moved up or back, who knows? But I was told not to expect it at this point for this coming year. So, so those are the main things that kind of taxpayer-related CIP and kind of town operations. The third component of our budget is the revolving fund, and the revolving fund is where all of our programs run out of. Our programs. In 2024, to this date, we've run 352 programs this year, up from about 250 last year. All of our programs operate as self-supporting entities, so not only it has to cover its own direct costs, here's whoever's running the program and the supplies and the food and all that, so they have to cover their own costs. And which means obviously we have to hit minimum enrollments and things like that for things to run. But then beyond that, the town charges us for a number of indirect costs. As I mentioned earlier, obviously the camp and after school director, her salary and benefits comes out of our programs account, that revolving fund. Part of mine and James' salary does, and then part of HR's time and payroll's time and those things for kind of their time associated with the things that we do. Last year, or in our current fiscal year, that was little over $60,000 that we basically had to give back from our program account to the taxpayers. for this coming year, it's actually going down a little bit, which is kind of nice. Not sure how that worked out, but right now we're looking at 52,000 roughly. I had planned to kind of go into the breakdown of revolving fund programs, but unfortunately that part of the budget isn't done yet. And when I get down to my director's report, I'll explain why. So that is all I got on the budget at the moment, unless anybody has questions.
Any questions?
Well done.
Okay, thank you. Looks like we're gonna have a little quick chat here about the December 18th meeting. My understanding is that because it's December and
Yes.
you've already done the budget
Yeah, I just
part.
wanted to make sure we put it on the agenda,
Okay.
which was, we don't typically meet in December just because of the craziness of the holidays, unless something comes up. And there was a shortage of meeting rooms in town hall anyway, so, after talking to Tracy and Rick, we kind of preemptively have canceled December already, just so you can take it off your calendars. Like I said, if something happens to come up in the next couple of weeks, then I'll let you know, but it doesn't usually happen, so I figured we were good.
All right. I don't think we need to vote to not show up in December, but we
Nope,
can.
we don't.
I'll figure it out.
I think Lori's already answered that question. Yeah, that would be a no. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about, Heather, if you're ready, an update from the dog park.
Everybody seems to like the shelter. They're real appreciative of it. I haven't honestly been there as much as I was before because this dog's been sick, but everybody's really happy about it and really like it.
They seem to be pretty excited about it while they were watching it be built.
Yes, they liked watching. Yeah.
And Peyton and his family and friends and the scouts that came out there, they were wonderful. They were kind. They were answered questions when people were asking questions, and they were doing a great job with everything. And then all of a sudden I'm watching these young scouts walking around the large dog park picking things up.
Nice.
Broken toys they were picking up, and they were raking, and they were trying to smooth out the ground because, in the wintertime we tend to have a little bit of a water issue. It was amazing, and I didn't ask them to do it, but they did a fantastic job, and they were really great kids, and thank you, parents. So from all of us here, I think I could say thank you very much. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Heather, if you have anything else you wanted to add to it.
No, that was all. Thank you.
And there's a picture on the
There you
screen.
go. Yeah, my screen's not working.
Oh.
So just a couple more things with the dog park. Heather and I are going to talk about it and try to figure out a date, but since we have no snow in the forecast, this is a good time to start making sure that everything is cleaned up and ready for the snow if it ever shows up. Please make sure that you're taking home. My light's on.
Just
Okay.
turning off the screen.
Please make sure that you're taking home empty containers that you're bringing for water. Last time I was there were about 7 containers floating around the outer enclosure, and it becomes a bit of a problem. Plus, some dogs are being allowed to play with them as though they were toys, which means we have shredded plastic all throughout the dog park. So please take them home, bring them back, recycle them. Whatever you've got to do, don't forget to bring water for your dogs because the water is shut off in the dog park. It will not be turned on again until probably somewhere around Memorial Day. Or if the weather goes the way it is, summertime should start around February. The dog park balance is still $497.34. We are going to, I think in the spring, Heather and I will kind of try to get together and talk a little bit about what we can do for some fundraisers. We've got a lot of stuff going on right now, as Matt has just explained. But we need to do something for some fundraisers because we are gonna need some more of the wood chips in the park, and there's some other things that probably need to get done. And so let's see, what else do we have on here? Okay, clean up after your pups. I know that you guys are tired of me saying that. And that's pretty much it as far as the dog park goes. So now we're back to Matt.
Hi,
Director's
guys.
report. Oh, hold on,
Before
Laura.
we leave old business, there's one thing that happened in October that I actually attended the marathon. Your trip. I didn't bring my phone. I didn't bring anything. Sorry. The marathon, the cross country thing.
Oh,
the thing
the-
at the
Oh, the
park.
Natticook Challenge.
Natticook Challenge. Thank you. That was October 12th,
Yep,
and you did a wonderful job. I just wanted.
that's all James.
Yeah, but you had how many participants? You remember that? stuff.
143?
Yeah, we had a good turnout. It was a beautiful day, and people had a great time. There was a couple of challenged people, but they were persistent. And the setups that James did, because this is what he does for fun, I found out. He does all these obstacle courses all over the world, pretty much. And but people had a great time, and I just wanted to mention, good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. I completely forgot about it, so.
I obviously did too.
All right. Yes.
I
Maureen.
just have a question. At Watson Park, do they have, in the kiosk, do they have it, no dogs off leash? Do they have a, every time I go by, which is every day, there's dogs running all over, loose, no
Was that
leashes.
Watson Park? Yeah,
Watson,
I see it a lot too.
yeah. It's very busy down there for dogs. I mean, they're not on leashes and, I mean, they should be. I mean, it's not even fenced in.
It should be in the kiosk. I'd have to go, I can go
I
look tomorrow.
don't walk down there.
Yeah.
I stay up
um,
by the gardens, working on the gardens, not down by the kiosk, but I should have, you know.
Unfortunately, it is something we face in a lot of parks that people just
I know.
disregard the, you know.
I maybe I'm reading it wrong, but our
The official
town,
rule is in town parks, they have to be on a leash. The only place they're allowed in a park off leash is inside the dog park enclosure.
Okay, that was going to be my question, because I remember something in the statute or in the ordinance that, or at a voice command, voice control.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Nope.
cool.
Has to be on a leash except when they're inside the dog park enclosure.
Is there signage there at Watson Park stating that?
I will have to look. I don't, there should be, but doesn't mean there is, or it doesn't mean people pay attention to it.
Well, I mean, with all the people and everything around there, it makes sense because, you know, kids running, dogs tend to chase them. But I've seen it too at Wasserman Park. When they're leaving the dog park, they're out in the parking lot where cars are racing around that oval. And these, you know, dogs are just, you know, they just had a great time. They're heading to the car. Next thing you know it. So,
And I was just gonna say, so, you know, given the fact that probably people are going there, lots of them probably live in the new apartments or whatever, if we could, in the future, in our capital improvement, maybe have a little fenced-in area where the dogs could go in and run, that would be helpful, because then they, you know, like they do that at a lot of condo associations, and it works.
Okay.
we'd have to take a,
I mean, didn't they voted against that? That's where it was supposed to be. The dog park was supposed to be there,
Yep,
and it got voted down.
okay,
So that's why it's at
okay.
far away.
I think part of the concern is in order to have it be a sturdy setup with a fence, there's digging that's required, and therefore we have to be very careful because of the site itself has issues, obviously. And having a dog park that close to the road in and of itself is difficult, whereas where we have it right now, we do have one dog that can climb a fence. It's pretty amazing to watch. But there's a ways that he has to get to before he hits Natticook. But yeah, it was, you know, and people are racing through that road, and the firehouse is right across the street, so. But I hear what you're saying. I think it would be a great idea. It'd be nice with all of these new apartments if they build their own dog parks. Just my 2 cents. Yeah, all right. We back to Matt?
Back to me.
Back
Okay.
to Matt.
All right. As you know, we've been trying to hire a new camp and after-school coordinator to replace Hannah, who left to join the Air Force back in September. We hired somebody who started Monday, and everything seemed great. And then Tuesday morning, I get an email saying, "This job is not for me. I quit." And so she has now left us. That is now the third person that has accepted the job and then subsequently quit, or ghosted us or whatever. So needless to say, I was not pleased. I had a few words in the office on Tuesday morning. Seemed great. You know, I don't understand. I don't know if it's a generational thing. I don't know. So, she had stated that she wanted more of a work-life balance. Now, the position at this time of year works Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. That's pretty consistent. How does that? It's not weekends. It's not the schedule that I do. Talking about work, like, we won't go there, but I don't know. So we're back out for round 4.
Only serious applicants, please apply.
Right? I don't know. I had a long conversation with the town manager yesterday and the HR yesterday. We were able to, one of our challenge has been that this position's on the same scale as James's position, who's been here for 5.5 years, and that the salary was already kind of butting up against what he was making after 5 years, and he had significantly more experience. Long story short, the town manager agreed to bump James's salary up so that we can bump this position up a little bit more. It's a little bit higher now. We're up to $25 an hour from $23, plus obviously benefits and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. It's posted again. My concern is, obviously, I have interviewed 19 people in the last 3 months for this one position. I'm getting awful tired of it. And I'm concerned, obviously, that we've saturated them. We're just not going to get quality, but I don't know. If we get to Christmas, I mean, best case scenario is somebody applies this week, next week. We interview them right away. Even if I find somebody by December 1st with the background checks and with the holidays, it's going to be January before they start. That's best case scenario at this point. If we get to Christmas and I haven't found somebody, I'm starting to hedge I may go back to the way we used to do it, which is the seasonal camp director and then a seasonal after school. I don't really want to do that because I don't really want to give up that full-time position, because that means James and I are doing all the prep work for camp again, and that was part of what we were trying to avoid in the first place. But if I can't fill it, I don't know. Maureen?
Well, I was thinking maybe you need to change the title. Maybe they don't think it's great enough. People are funny about titles.
It started with a different title, and that was the title that HR wanted.
Really?
Only, originally it was Camp and After School Director, and they didn't like that because I'm the only one that can have director in my title. So even in camp, we have an assistant director for camp, and that title changed too, and that was assistant manager, or assistant camp manager, and it's just, so I can't do anything about the title, unfortunately. It is what it is. Yes.
Matt, I'm curious, does it include benefits?
Oh,
and
yeah,
insurance?
it's full benefits. I mean, and town benefits are good. I mean, it's 100%, health insurance is 100% town paid. Plus obviously vacations and all that good stuff. And I don't understand it. The other thing that's been interesting is we're not getting people with park and rec backgrounds that really in any of the rounds that we've done. We've gotten a few camp people. We've gotten a lot of paraprofessionals that have worked in schools, but we haven't really gotten quite what we're looking for. And part of the challenge with this position is because our camp is licensed, they have to meet the qualifications of a camp director under state DHHS regulations, which says they have to have basically 2 years of experience or 2 summers worth of experience as in a supervisory camp position. So they have to have been a summer camp director or assistant director or a unit leader, or they can't just be counselor to this because it doesn't meet the So I don't know. I don't know. So that kind of threw off yesterday for me. And obviously I had planned to spend the day writing the budget with the new person having started, and that kind of threw that out the window. I was working till last night just to get the taxpayer side done. So hopefully tomorrow I'll find enough time to get the rest of the revolving fund signed, but we'll see. So
Matt,
it's been a couple of days.
are there any other programs in New Hampshire? Because I know you're part of the Parks
Yes.
and Recreations thing. Is there any other program in New Hampshire that has something similar to this? And what are
Not-
they doing to get people?
Not really. I've had a few towns say, "Oh, that's a great idea. We should do that." And so far, but not really. What most towns are doing is kind of what we started with James, and kind of James helps oversee programs, but he's not running the day-to-day. Now, that's the other alternative, would be to do something like that with this position, which is just, you're not managing the day-to-day of camp, you're one level removed and you're more office-based, but then I still got to hire somebody on site in the summer to be a camp director, and that's another $10,000 in the camp budget to do that. So now you're paying for a full-time and for that position. So I don't know. I'm kind of caught in I don't know.
Can you do me a favor? Can you send to all of us a copy of whatever
Yep.
your job requirements are? Yeah, the job description, what you're looking for. I mean, you never know if one of us, especially,
Yep.
you just never know.
Yeah.
And it could be a relative. And then
Yeah.
we force them to do it.
There you go. But I'm getting a little tired of interviewing, so hopefully we'll find something. I mean, after school's running great, fortunately, but yeah, because right now I'm kind of doing both jobs,
Yeah.
and I'd like to not do both jobs, but it is what it is. So it's posted, and HR will be routing applications as they come in, and it's just kind of open until filled at this point. So, yeah, there's that. Moving on to events next Saturday, November 30th. It is Thanksgiving weekend. We have a community blood drive in conjunction with the Red Cross and with assistance from the Lions Club, from 9 to 1:30 at Wasserman Park. Our donor numbers are very low right now. I suspect that the holiday weekend has a lot to do with it, but the Red Cross really doesn't want to cancel it. So
We have a good one at ours,
yeah,
Christmas Eve.
nice. That's
No,
cool. No?
no, we can't get anybody to work on Christmas
Oh, okay.
Eve
Yeah.
for blood.
I was going to say, I've donated on Christmas Eve before, but
There's another business in town that's actually doing a blood drive. I believe it's on the 29th.
yeah. Well, there's between the churches in town and the O'Leary Center, and there's one almost every single week. But they have a big shortage, so they don't really want to cancel. But it's one of those things we kind of do when they asked us to, because it's a nice thing to do, So we're kind of continuing to push it. I've got an email blast with this, among other things, going out tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get some people go, oh yeah, I'm around. I guess I can spare, half an hour. Anyway, coming up in 2.5 weeks is the 31st annual holiday parade and tree lighting on Sunday, December 8th. The parade kicks off from by Tractor Supply Store at the Common Shopping Plaza at 3 o'clock. Comes down Daniel Webster Highway to Babusick Lake Road, and then pulls into the Town Hall parking lot. As soon as Santa arrives, who's at the back of the parade, we do a performance from the high school band. We have Santa does his countdown to turn on the lights. Broadway Down is performing. We have Miss Merrimack singing again. We've got crafts. We've got cookies from the Girl Scouts. We've got, I'm drawing a blank, what else? I think Rotary might be doing hot chocolate, all free, whatever. But so tree lighting usually starts somewhere around 3:45 and goes till 4:30, 5 o'clock, again, depending on timing of everything. But nice afternoon. Tomorrow, I will mention this because it's coming tomorrow. The town council's, we had actually, you know what? I'm not going to announce that. Never mind. I'm going to wait because the town council has an item on their agenda that they're approving tomorrow. So I'll wait until they approve it before I announce it. So never mind that part.
Okay, wait a minute. That's not fair.
I know.
Yeah, what a tease.
I know. You have to watch the council meeting tomorrow, I guess. But anyway.
No, I'm just going to text somebody tomorrow.
Yeah. And then lastly is the Southern New Hampshire Tour of Lights. This is a program, kind of all the park and rec departments in kind of South Central New Hampshire started during COVID as a free program. Get people out, go check out Christmas lights. So this is our 5th year. We've got 13 communities participating again this year. Essentially, each community is asking the residents in their town, if you decorate your house for the holidays, you register your house with the Park and Rec Department, which is free, and then send it, you register us so we have your address. We then will compile a master list of all 13 towns, and we create a driving route through each of those 13 towns, so you can kind of go and check out all the lights, and you can do just one town. You can go through all of them. It's not as popular as it was 5 years ago, but it's still, it's kind of a no-brainer. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort, so we said, why not? Sure. So we are taking registrations for homes up until December 2nd. And then on December 6th is when we'll release the list, because it'll take me about 4 days to create all those driving routes to do that. So, but yeah, then we put out a mastered list, and then obviously it goes from there. The incentive for homeowners that decorate to register with us, one is they don't get on the list unless they register. I'm not going to just, we know this such and such address goes all out. Well, unless that homeowner tells us, then I'm not putting them on the list. But we do a random raffle of all the Merrimack addresses, and one house will win a $25 gift certificate to the restaurant of their choice here in town. So just again, free incentive, or added incentive at a chance at a raffle. So, and obviously, I think last year we had 22 or 23 houses in town. So, why not? So that's all I got.
Laura,
Can you
go
just
ahead.
remind me who's doing the turkey trot? Who sponsors that?
Rotary.
Rotary, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Uh,
The day of, right?
Day of, yes.
With regard to the holiday parade,
Yes.
now it says it starts at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
So what time do you want people at Tractor Supply?
If you'd like to volunteer, and I would love some volunteers, 1:15.
Okay.
And I'm going to send out a reminder later for anybody, because I
Could
do
you
need
remind me again
volunteers.
the date?
Which is, what's that?
Could you remind me of the date of that?
December 8th.
Okay.
But yeah, 1:15 to 3:15, basically, it's about 2 hours, and it's it's helping us get the floats in a line. Holiday parade's nowhere near as complicated as 4th of July. It's usually 20, 22, 23 floats compared to 4th of July, which is 70 or 80. So it usually goes pretty quickly, and our theme this year is a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown's.
So we hope we get some good entries, and we're up to 18 or 19 at last count, I think. People still have they have until December 4th to enter a float. Could be a float, could be a bicycle, it could be horses, it could be anything, marchers, whatever. But again, no cost to register, and they can do that again through our website.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right. Organizational reports. Let's go ahead and start with MYA. Rick Grenier.
Thank you. First off, I'm happy to announce we have a new golf program beginning this spring. And right now, there are about 40 children registered for that. So that's exciting, and I believe the plan is that they're going to work with the Sohegan Golf Course. So my first thought was, what fields will we use? But it's not going to be a problem, and they do hope to practice at Wasserman, which you and I can talk to more about another time. So that's exciting. We have registration open for golf and lacrosse presently. Our basketball teams have begun practicing, and they have 620 children playing. And that segues me into thanking the school district for the use of their gymnasiums, because our basketball program couldn't exist without that. And any parents out there looking for more information can find it at the MerrimackYouthAssociation.com. That's it.
Thank you. Merrimack Youth Association, all one word, right?
Correct.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Maureen, you're up.
I'm always up.
Yes, you are.
All right, I talked about our fair last time. We had a very, very successful fair. Over $4,000 for our little fair, and we did really well. So everybody had a good time, and if you missed it, we're gonna have another one next year. We had signups for Kenny and Dolly at Danvers, Mass, and it's full. So everybody's gonna enjoy that, except my husband. He's hunting. And the seniors are having a Christmas dinner, 2nd of December. My anniversary, not my husband's. And, but we're going, they have
TMI.
like a rule in, when you join, they have this, we're supposed to, in our, rules and regulations, supposed to give us a $10 dinner. It's like a thing, I guess. And the club pays for the rest. Say it's 25, you only have to pay 10, and the club pays the 15. But it's actually, you have to do it every year. It's the law of the seniors. So I don't remember who they're getting to, but we're gonna have like a buffet. You know, instead of Mondays, it's gonna be on a Monday, so. But other than that, we're keeping busy. We got a lot of, people are starting to go to the Capitol Center and to Palace Theater. We're checking out a lot of things, and Nashua. So carpooling, so that's fun. So we're keeping busy. All right,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Signing off.
Signing off. All right. All right, Lori for school board?
So we're in round 2 of our budget season, and in December, we're going to be having a lot of budget meetings. So if anyone would love to come and see some budget action, I think you did a great job tonight. They're open to the public. On December 16th, Shane Albuquerque, who is the chairperson for the Planning and Building Committee, will be coming to the school board to present the plan to bring to the voters on the central office and what that would look like and what the cost is and what the cost is to the taxpayers. The school board still would have to vote on that after that presentation. And in our last meeting, or a couple meetings ago, we spent a lot of time on the bullying policy and reviewing protocols on bullying in school. I think that's it.
Thank you. Has that been a problem so far this year?
I think it's always something that is a concern, and I think some people want to see zero tolerance or whatever that means, like put them out for 10 days or whatever. So the school wanted to go through what are the protocols and what happens, and it's never all or nothing. There's always a teaching moment in that, and then we had parents who want to know what the punishment is and who the kids are, and there's those are all information that cannot be given out. So that's why I think the school board spent some time going through and explaining where they can find the information and what they need to do. And we also talked about, we have a student representative, Finn, who You know, because it's really important also for the bystanders, right? So if somebody sees somebody being bullied, that the bystander also stands up and says, hey, stop, you know, and the child who is bullied to be able to have, you know, what are the skills? And so it was really interesting that Finn said, you know, when I was in Project Safeguard and then
Yep.
I got all of these are all things that were talked about. So we did hear that. And I was like, oh, good. So we are being proactive. We're just not being reactive.
And key phrase is see something, say something.
Yes, see something, say something.
And it goes together so well. You just have to keep repeating it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Matthew, student rep.
All right. Last weekend, the MHS Theater put on a production of Clue on stage. It was very successful. We obviously made a lot for the club. This is going to sound familiar. On December 5th, the National Honor Society is holding a blood drive for students. Students 16 to 18 are encouraged to get their parent permission to donate blood. 18 and up, obviously, you don't need parent permission. As well as the National Honor Society over the past couple of weekends has been doing leaf raking for some local seniors. That was a big, support for our community, as well as a big support for the National Honor Society.
Thank you very much.
Did you mention, Matt, that you were the stage manager for the play? Good job.
Okay,
Yes.
Maureen.
Sleeping today, I don't know. That mattress thing they were doing up and down the street with the mattress, did they make any money on that, or? Oh, I thought it was on. Did they make any money on the mattress selling thing? It was up and down the street with a whole bunch of kids wearing mattresses.
Yes. Yeah, it was definitely fun for our student council. I can't do specifics, but it was definitely one of our most successful fundraisers of the year.
Amazing. It was funny, too.
Oh, I hope you have pictures someday. Okay. Mackenzie, Town Council, please.
Town council update. I'm sure you are all thrilled to receive your tax rate for this year. That just came out October 25th. It is $20.69 per thousand of assessed value. How that breaks out amongst the town and the school, 21% was a municipal piece, 67% was a school and local, 7% was a school and state, and the county level was 5%. So the municipal worked out to be $4.29. The school and local worked out to be $13.86. The school and state is $1.48, and the county is $1.06. So that was an increase of $1.24 per thousand, and that's based on the rate from last year, it's up $1.24 from last year, which was $19.45. So that's how the tax rate broke out this year. I guess the one other update that I have is the volunteer policy for the town. The town council has been working on it with our HR director and the town manager. So they're really breaking it down to more of, I guess, a statement saying that the volunteer will follow the town policies and procedures, and that they have the skill and ability to follow the tasks that are assigned to them. If it's either a youth volunteer or an adult volunteer, it does have to be approved by the town manager and the department head and whoever the supervisor of the task is. The youth have their own form, and then the adult will also have their own form, and the youth form goes up to age 18. So again, that's something we've been working on for the last few weeks, so that language has been talked about at the last two town council meetings, but they've been also working with, or making sure that they get advice from like the attorneys as well. So that's something that we've been working on, but I think that's all I have for today.
Okay.
And if you want to see what Matt was talking about, the agenda is on the town council website. So if you're really curious, you can go on and look at it.
And if you want to hear about taxes, go out onto Facebook. Because it exploded sometime around 3:30 today. All right. No comments from public. Any further comments on what we've discussed tonight? Lori?
So a couple things. So going back to basketball, the 620 students. So the way the MWA program actually got formed is because there was a small group of parents who wanted to have basketball, and the school wouldn't let them use the gyms without insurance. So they had to form the MYA so they would be able to pay the insurance. So it started through basketball. So I just thought that was very interesting, and I think that's a huge number of kids who are involved. It makes me very excited. And then going back to something Tracy said earlier about thinking about fundraisers. So I think that, you know, I'm not volunteer, but I could find volunteers that that we could do a Parks and Rec MYA fundraising dinner, and we could sell tickets and people would come. We used to do that for other things, and you can raise money. It would be a night out. It would be celebrating Merrimack, and if we could get, not us, because we do a lot, but if we could get some volunteers, and I think I could find them for you. There's lots of parents in the schools who love to volunteer. I think maybe Matt's mom would do it too. We could scoop some people up and try to do something in the spring.
That sounds good.
And then finally, with the taxes, I just want to just remind people, because I know people are very upset about the residential, but the last 2 years, the industrial and commercial rates have crashed, and our housing prices continue to rise. So until we get residential and commercial back up, or more residential and commercial, and the Commissioner of Education just decreased the amount of money again for the schools. So when you see that increase in the schools, it's not like we're getting any more. We're asking. It's because the state is giving us less money, and they just decreased it for special ed. Well, we have no choice. Like, we have to educate. We have free and appropriate education, and if they keep decreasing that amount, it comes back to the taxpayers. And so I think people don't understand that, so it's a big deal, right? Because we got less, because that lottery money is supposed to be coming to our schools, and every time they take another percentage off, we pick it up. And I think this year it's gonna be like $700,000 that we're gonna have to pick up.
This question may be a little out there, and I saw you, Rick. They took it away from Merrimack. They took it away from other towns, I'm assuming.
Everybody,
Where's it going?
everybody. So they just said, we're gonna give you less.
Where's that money going?
So, interesting enough, our Commissioner of Education believes that, and I believe in alternate pathways, but when you start giving all your money to charter schools and private schools. So, for example, if you, in the state of New Hampshire, if you wanted to send your child to Bishop Girton, which I have no problem, you know, that's a great school. It used to be you as a parent would pay that. Now, you can apply to the state, and the state will give you money to go to any other school you want to go to. Every time they do that, they start to cripple public education. Because again, you know, we want the best and the brightest, and we have to educate everyone. So when we look at charter schools and alternative schools, and the other thing with those charter schools and is that they don't have to have state testing. They don't have to have, so they don't even have to have qualified teachers. They can hire anyone. So if you wanted to open a charter school in New Hampshire, you can, and we're gonna give you money, and we have state standards. So every kid that graduates from Merrimack High School, so let's just say US history, we have standards that they have to learn, and it's through the, you know, Department of Education. Charter schools don't. So it's something that we probably, you know, as a school board, we're gonna write letters, but you know, we're gonna write letters. I don't know.
You gotta do something. So, writing letters was a good start.
Yeah, we're gonna start. I know. I just that's what we said the other night. Well, we'll write a letter.
There's a really big space in front of the State House. Fits a lot of tents. Just saying. Any other comments? Because I should probably keep quiet.
Those are my questions as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right, well, the next meeting is scheduled for January 15th, which is a Wednesday, because, of course, the holiday this year is on a Wednesday. And so 2 weeks after that. Let's see, where else are we at here? And that's pretty much it. So, if we've got nothing else going on, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor? So now we have 9-0 whatever, right? Because all of us are voting.
Correct.
Yes, correct.